466.
Especialistas convidados da Voz da América irão...
Life's challenges can be viewed as opportunities to grow, learn, and be the best version of yourself. By looking inwards, personal development increases your self-awareness, your self-esteem, and your chances to fulfill your aspirations. This week, we'll be joined by life coaches to explore the journey of personal development and how it can help you cultivate a mindset of success. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Our Voices. I am Ginny Niwa. Here with me is my co-host, Auriane Itangishaka. Semene Shekoye is out, but we return next week. Hello, Auriane.
Hello.
So personal development has been studied by theologians, philosophers, psychologists since the dawn of time. It's based on the concept that what a person thinks will become. Is that something that you can relate?
Yes, I definitely can relate to that because a lot of times when I set my mind to doing something and I set it on my mind to doing it, I don't rest until it's done, and I can actually see the fruits of it because I set my mind to that. And as we're talking about this conversation, I know that our audience on the continent are especially very religious people, Muslims, Christians, and other religions. And for instance, for Christians, it is said that as a man thinketh, so is he. And that's a scripture that a lot of Christians really meditate on. Also another scripture that says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, which means that, if you don't want to be secular, if you don't want to be worldly, you have to renew and change your mind. So a lot of times in the religious realm, you can see how the mind is a very important thing when you want to achieve a success or when you want to do things in a different way. So a lot of people really do meditate on those holy words, holy scriptures to be able to either prosper in life. They depend on them because, it's not a place where a lot of people go to psychiatrists or psychologists to help them with their life's issues. So whatever you set your mind to, based on what you want to achieve, yes, it is possible.
Yes,
Right.
And I totally agree. Yeah. Your thoughts create your reality for sure.
For the most part.
Yes.
Because I might think I want to get a BMW tomorrow
morning. That's what people say. Well, wish me, wish me prosperity, and it happened. But you know what? I am very excited about this topic because personal development, it changed my life. I was stuck at some point in my life, going around in circles, doing this, it wouldn't work. Being a banker, being a hairstylist, it wasn't for me until I said, okay, stop. Let me go inward. How do I change my life? And then I start searching, okay, what's my mission? I even thought my mission was supposed to be something holy, but it's really looking inward. Look at your blessing. What has God, given you, that make you unique? Okay. And then start doing some exercise, the desire of changing my life just had an awakening to me, and I use those methods, and I use the mindset changing, and
so you had to do practical steps.
Yes, that's definitely right. It wasn't just the fact that I thought of changing my life, I felt like there was synchronicity.
Okay.
So it opened something, the search for being somebody else, it just opened certain doors, and then you meet the right people, you read the right things, and I just want people to just watch this show and be like, okay, I want to try.
That's right.
Because it works.
You really have to be intentional about your life.
Exactly, that's the word. Let's introduce Dr. Michel Muvudi, a specialist at the World Bank who has decided to focus on his first passion, serving others, particularly youth. He offers personal development and leadership training based on his own success to enhance the country's talent. I caught him in DRC in my recent travel in Kinshasa. Let's follow.
That's why when you read the story of Japan, you read the story of China. China was less developed than DRC in the 1960s.
In Kinshasa, the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo, young people draw their development information from the world around them, family, school, the street. Very rarely do they have the opportunity and the means to train themselves with the help of coaches. Dr. Michelle Muvudi is passionate about coaching young people and offers free personal development and leadership training courses across the country.
That it's important to start working towards this, to show young people that even when national and international conditions aren't too conducive to human development, it is possible, especially with what we've been through, to make effort and manage, isn't it? To be able to develop, to contribute positively to society. Put yourself at the center of your life. Don't say, my life depends on the elections, my life depends on what the country will become, my life depends on what the war between Russia and Ukraine will become, my life depends on whether Joe Biden will stay or not.
Born into a poor family in the DRC, Muvudi paid his way through school by tutoring the children of his mother's employers. Now a doctor, his teaching are inspired by his past efforts and his own success and self-confidence.
When he talked about self-confidence, it's really something in me that I really need to work on. Through this training, it helped me a lot.
Today, this senior health specialist at the World Bank is committed to the young people he knows so well and whom he describes as the primary asset of the DRC. He has taught more than 5,000 Congolese without charge about morality, ethics, good governance, and their value for the community. The knowledge they put into practice after the training has led to testimonials of praise every day.
You become a leader. It's not that you are born a leader. You become one. And it's this training that has given us this desire to push things forward and to be a vector for others. So, thanks to this, I have been able to set up businesses, and today it helps me to evolve from a financial point of view and everything else. It also allows me to help others evolve too.
Devin Bouyi says Muvudi's training enriched his mind and encouraged him to open his own telecommunications agency.
Dr. Muvudi always tells us that the first wealth we have is life. When you're alive, you can do anything, you can achieve anything. So Maestro Telecom was first an idea in our heads. Then, thanks to his advice, we were able to put our idea into fruition.
About 60% of the DRC population is under the age of 25, and 19% of these young people are unemployed. Muvudi does not expect to be paid for the training he gives, but says having former students say he helped them is priceless.
I tell myself, what's the point of being what I am, telling everyone that I've studied, that I work at X, Y, and Z, if all around me are people who look at me like a god, who don't know how I got there, who wondered when I'll be like Dr. Michelle too. So I pass it on to others and seeing them come back and say, thank you very much. I'll find a way. I can help others too. For me, that's a great salary.
That is awesome. He's so passionate about it. Yes. Well, to unleash your life's purpose, Jean Adero will guide you to reach your dreams, transform yourself and your power with the famous phrase, "You were born to light Africa," better known as Africa's life coach. Mrs. Adero is a native of Kenya, and she joins us via Skype from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much, Ms. Adero, for being with us.
Thank you.
Now, well, when you're teaching about self-improvement, personal development, and all that good stuff, is it well received, or are people just not intentional about that kind of thing?
Actually, it is really well received. Most people are tired of being tired, and they're tired of being stuck. And so every time you say something that gives them that glimmer of hope, they are ready. And a lot of times you just want to know how. So that's not something that I struggle with at all.
So people really can even pay for it and say, hey, look, just help me with this.
Yes, actually, initially I was very hesitant to collect any money simply because I wasn't even sure that it was going to translate. But when I realized that the wait lists were getting longer and longer, I said I was onto something here, because the reason I wasn't doing it effectively is because I had 2 jobs. And when I realized that there was a market for it, I said, let me just go ahead and go right in and start speaking to the pain that many people are experiencing and truly help them transform. Because no one was speaking the African language. No one knew the culture. And when I say the African language, I'm talking about how we were raised, how we were taught to be. They went to life coaches of other cultures, but they felt that they were not understood.
Ms. Adero, what would you say to someone who still has doubt about the effectiveness of personal development?
Oh, that's not a difficult thing to do, because you just have to look at my own life. I came from bankruptcy. And once I share the stories of all the people who have done it, the doubt just dissipates, because everybody has a story, and the stories tell the story of how it's going to be for the person who's sitting before me.
Wow. What would your message be to someone who's already feeling like they've already got it, and you think that, no, actually, you're all over the place, there are some things that can be done to improve? How would you advise them, and where would they start?
You see, the number one thing I've realized is many African people are doing what I call dancing with average. They are so used to be the best of such a small group that they don't recognize what the inner potential is. So I ask them, what is it that you really wanted? If you had 2 days to live, what would you be sad that you didn't get to do, get to be, get to say? And that completely changes the game, because they start looking at it from the ceiling and not from the bottom.
So since you're working with African women, and there is a spiritual aspect to personal development, can you touch on that?
So it's interesting, because a lot of Africa is raised in what we consider sometimes someone else's religion. And so there's not a complete understanding of it. And because we've taken half-truths from here and half-truths from there, it is sometimes very conflicting. So many people believe they were destined to be poor. And for example, the Christian person who believes that they have to give away everything might not go for the highest level job, because they have a conflict within about how they'll be perceived when they are wealthy. Now, if you look at it, I always go back with the Christian person. I say, look at the story of creation. In the beginning, we are introduced to God's character as a creator. And my question immediately is, how are you a creator? And then we would go into, let there be light. And I question, what are you declaring? What are you expecting? Because God expected that there would be light. And then God said that it was good. And that's a sense of gratitude, which means once you declare it, once you expect it, when it happens, be grateful. And then we are told about the abundance of the creation. And if there is abundance in creation, and we are created in the likeness and image of God, then that means that it is your birthright to create big things.
Well, thank you so much. That's great that you're also helping people in the diaspora as you are in Atlanta, Georgia. So both Africa and the diaspora. Well, we'll have to take a pause right now, and I'd like to thank Africa's life coach, Ginny Adero, for joining us. It's time for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the discussion. We will also be joined now by Mrs. Rosetta Thurman, founder of Happy Black Women, a coaching company that helps Black women achieve their personal and professional goals using a proven process for transformation. And as usual, we want to hear your thoughts on this topic, with the importance of seeking personal growth. Share this on our social media platforms on VOA Africa. We are on Facebook, on Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter. Use the hashtag VOA Our Voices. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
In times of change, when the world seems uncertain and what we hear doesn't reflect what we see, we seek the truth. When we are told only part of the story, we lose trust. In moments of crisis, our dreams, hopes, and wishes for a better tomorrow depends on a free press. At Voice of America, we bring you the stories that people take risks to see. We connect the world and unite it with truth. At Voice of America, we show you the whole picture.
Health, wellness, sport, beauty, medical breakthroughs. Healthy Living cares about your well-being. What are the main health concerns in Africa and around the world? Find out the latest on coronavirus. Connect with our experts and ask them questions.
How long does the virus stay?
Join me, Linor Moudou, in Washington, every week on Healthy Living, right here on VOA.
You're watching VOA's Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. Thank you so much for joining us each week right here on Red Carpet. We bring you the latest in
Welcome back. You are with our voices. We are zooming into life transformation. Here with us is Miss Rosetta Thurman, life and business coach and founder of Happy Black Women, a coaching company that helps Black women achieve their personal and professional goal using a proven process for transformation. Her motto is, you can do anything you want with your life and no one can stop you but you. Coach Thurman, welcome to our voices.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I know we are going in today.
Yes, yes.
Transformation.
Yeah, and being positive especially. You know, when I'm reading your stuff and I'm like, okay, really it's putting me into a positive mood. I'm becoming a happy woman.
Yes, absolutely.
The declarations.
Absolutely. So what do you do exactly for women?
I'm a life coach for ambitious Black women who have big dreams. There are so many dreams that we have that I call forgotten dreams or buried dreams. Especially when you get to a certain age in life, you forget how to dream. And it's important that we tap into that because it's a key to our happiness.
I agree with that part about forgetting to dream.
Mm-hmm. So your motto suggests that we are responsible for our own success, but what do we, if we feel helpless?
Yes. Well, feelings and emotions are clues to what to do next in your life. So when you feel helpless, when you feel like you don't know what to do next, that's a sign that there's something that needs to change in your life. One of my favorite quotes is from the late Dr. Maya Angelou. And she says, if you don't like something, change it. So if you're feeling negative emotions, it's a sign that something needs to change in your life. And so I got to that point in my life, as many of us do, where I had a good job and I had a degree, I had a career, but I felt like there was something more for my life. And so I went on this journey of transformation for myself. I got into personal development. I started reading the self-help books. I started doing the exercises that people suggested out there. And I found my purpose. I was able to figure out what I really wanted to do in life. And from there, I started writing about it. I started this blog called Happy Black Woman, and I actually started to attract other Black women from around the world who also had big dreams. And from there, I developed a method called the Happy Black Woman Method, and now I take women through that process step by step.
Wow.
We'll get into that.
That is amazing. That's really amazing. I want to hear that process. Well, now let's listen to some women in Accra, Ghana, and get their views on personal development in our Your Voice segment. We hear from Patricia Opoku Asare, Anita Selassie Abota, Humo Dili Sidi, Amela Agumfra Ndonko to take a listen, and we'll get back.
I'm a teacher by profession, and what I always do or seek for in life, to be a role model to my fellow students, to my students. I always intend to live a life worthy of emulation, so that children in future would always remember that we once had a leader, we once had a role model who lived such life that it has affected us positively and taken us to the heights or achieved our aim and potentials in life. That is what I seek for in life. So I seek for leadership which will influence the society from the young to the elderly positively.
In terms of coaching, I know we have a lot of coaches, like life coaches and the professional coaches as well. For professional coaches, I would probably go for cybersecurity, because it's a topic I'm very interested in, aside from what I do. And then for life coaches, someone to tell me how to go about life in terms of religion, gender, whatever it is. Yeah, I would definitely go for that one too. But professionally, it will be cybersecurity, something related to cybersecurity.
If I have the opportunity in coaching and then in training, I would like to use that skills to help others who doesn't have that opportunity. Like maybe like how I said, my catering skills, that's my field. I will help them. And I have this group I used to teach them with this liquid soaps and then sanitizers and then parasol and all those things. I help people in doing that too. So if I had the opportunity, that's what I'll do.
If I had the opportunity to go into a different coaching or a different field, I'll go in for the gender minister. The gender minister, why? Because I have passion for the girl child, and also the future. As we are growing, the future you will live, and then what is going to be our legacy when we are dead and gone. At least if you are able to bring up or help the other institutions coming together as stakeholders, you'll be able to leave a good legacy.
Auriane, I think you had a comment.
Yeah. It's really interesting what the women in Ghana have to say about this. And I want to come back to her about the emotion of happiness. I mean, as you can see, it's all about being happy, right? Yes. But is happiness a key factor in moving forward? Because sometimes people are driven to move forward in a very unpleasant state, or whether it be sadness, sorrow, or anger, and then they say, you know what, I got to do something. So is happiness the key factor into moving forward for success?
Happiness is the desired emotion. The reason why most people want to achieve certain goals or want to have certain experiences is because they want to feel happy. That's what people are always chasing. Why do we want to make more money? Because we think it's going to make us happier. Why do we want to get married or be in a relationship? Because we think it's going to make us happy. Why do we want to travel? Because we want that experience. So there's so many different life experiences and transitions that happen, especially for Black women around the world, that drive us to make that decision. Something doesn't feel good, and now I want to go on that journey and go on that path to get happy.
Especially when you're being labeled like angry Black women.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So how do we do that?
Yeah, so for the Happy Black Woman method, the first step is to evaluate your life, to really get honest with yourself about what is making you unhappy. So, writing down what in your life don't you like? I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. And that can make you feel good. Vent, get it all out. But then the next step is to redesign your life. So based on what you don't like, as Dr. Maya Angelou said, change it. So we want to redesign and ask yourself, what is it that you really do want? And then from there, we want to visualize, what does that look like? And that's where we get into things like vision boards, get out the scissors and your magazines, cut out some pictures and put them on a board that represent the life that you really do want. And then from there, we want to change our mindset. And you can do that through things like affirmations, through the manifesto. I created the Happy Black Woman Manifesto.
Yes,
it's a collection of affirmations that remind you of how powerful we really are as Black women and that you really truly can do anything. And then from there, the last step is to take action.
Can you go a little deeper into, those concept, a vision board? What exactly? Because people can think, cutting papers, how is that going to help me?
Yeah. It really won't unless it's connected to what you actually want. So if you want to transform your life and you realize that, I'm not having fun in my life anymore. I used to have fun when I was younger, but I'm not having fun in my life anymore, and I'm not happy about that. Well, then you have to think about, what's fun to you? And so the vision board, you can actually look. For me, I love travel. So this is one of my favorite magazines, Travel and Leisure. When I look through this magazine, all this is fun to me. If I, cut out a picture of a vacation, that's fun. So I put that on my vision board and put it where I can see it every day. And that's what I am focused on. That's what I'm saving up for, and that's what I'm putting into my calendar.
Right. So like a vision board, if you visualize it, if you think it, you will achieve it. Or
Absolutely.
you will work towards achieving.
You will work towards it. So it's one of those things that remind you of what are you supposed to be doing in your life? What are you supposed to be focused on in life? Because all of us have to-do lists and all of us have responsibilities, and we often forget about the things that are for us, the dreams that we have. So if you have a vision board, a collection of pictures of things that you want in front of you, it reminds you and motivates you. Today I have to take action on something that I want to do to make me happy.
Okay. Yeah. So you mentioned vision board, journaling?
Yes, journaling is another big one. At the Happy Black Woman, what we do is manifestation journaling. Okay. So to manifest means to create. And so when you journal about your vision, it has you take more action to create what you want.
Awesome. Create, wow. create.
Yeah.
So we can go deeper.
I really want to say some of these affirmations, right? So.
Yes.
I love myself. I am beautiful, powerful, free. I do not compare myself to others because I know that I am more than enough. These are such breathtaking confirmations. And when you talk about the vision board, I think for me is I'm always afraid of looking at myself and actually deciding I have to achieve this now. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now it is our time. This is our show for today. We want to thank our Skype guest, Ms. Jean Adero, life coach and life and business, also Coach Miss Rosetta Thurman, founder of Happy Black Women, life coaching and podcast. Be sure to watch our voices on VOA website at voaafrica.com, where you can catch up on the latest episode and the world's top news stories. Now, on behalf of my co-host and editors, production team, and everyone here at The Voice of America, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, take care of you and yours. Cheers.